today is super interactive because I'm not extremely ready for today, but we're gonna do great, right?
Yeah.
So, I want to ask everybody, how many realtors do you think there are in our marketplace? Anybody have a number? You can ask.
Okay.
Like Utah, the whole valley?
Sure, let's say
or-
Utah or Utah, Salt Lake and Utah County, the
Salt
main
Lake.
hubs of Utah. What?
Probably
Like
10 to
10,
15,000.
Okay, that's what you thought. Anybody else have any other guess? Do you have a guess, Jensen?
15,000.
15 or 50?
50.
50, okay. There's actually closer to 25,000.
Yeah, in the whole state.
In the whole state. Okay, but it's good for you to know that because what's your freaking competition? 25,000 other realtors. So today we're going to talk about how to set yourself apart, how to make you feel like you have a unique selling proposition. You have something that will make people recognize you out of 25,000 realtors. Now, in Salt Lake alone is 12,000?
No, Salt Lake board is right now around 9,800.
Okay, closer to 10.
Yeah.
Utah County's closer to 7,000. So in these two areas, you're about 17,000 realtors, right? So I just want you to stand out. So today let's use our brains. Let's get really creative about what we're doing. Because does anyone have an elevator pitch here? No? Okay. Why don't you have an elevator pitch? Let me ask you this then. If someone asks you what you do, how do you answer it? Anybody want to share? What do you do? What do you do? It's a lot.
I feel like that's, you could say a lot.
Yeah, but just a quick answer. I'm at a party, I'm hanging out with you. Amanda, what do you do? Okay, cool. So again, in that moment, there's 17,000 other people that are in real estate. You guys, no joke, this is hilarious. When I was single, I was dating this guy, and he says to me, "What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a realtor." He goes, "Everyone's a realtor."
Oh.
And I was like, "Oh, but you don't know Jenny O." Right? But I didn't have actually, I help homeowners save, this average this much per year by negotiating their stuff up. I didn't have an elevator pitch at the time. And so I want you, in a market like today, when you need to stand out, you need to make sure you're different, to have something really quick that you can say like that, right? So I don't want to pick on you, but what's so cool about Amanda is she is also a doctor. She has her doctorate, she works at the hospital, so her name is the White Coat Realtor. Do you see how that's different than just, I'm a realtor? It's different, right? So I love it. Having a nickname or whatever it is sets you apart just a little bit. But we want to add to that. We want to make sure we have this unique selling proposition that helps people understand why they would choose you. Now they say on average, people know 3 to 5 realtors. So when you say I do real estate, they're going to go, well, why would I choose you over the guy down the street that I know that does real estate?
So when people ask me back when I was selling, I would say I'm the difference between for sale and sold.
Ooh, I love that!
And so then it would just floodgate questions, right? I didn't have to say I'm a realtor. I said that, and then you go into all the differences and details.
Thank you for sharing that. That's such a great elevator pitch right there. And do you know what his email is? Steve Perry Sold. So he has aligned what he says to people with all of his branding as well. And so that's kind of what I want everyone to be prepared for today, to go to your Instagram, have your little elevator pitch or your little White Coat Realtor, yours is on your Instagram, which is so cool, and make sure people understand what it means. What's the difference between you and somebody else, right? Okay, so go to the next one if you can. These are really boring slides I made on Monday, so just bear with me. So a compelling value proposition for a realtor is the bedrock of your career. So we're in a competitive market, you'll need to embody all the things that you do. So when people ask you, what makes you different? Let's say you're at a listing appointment, what makes you different than the realtor I just interviewed 10 minutes ago? What do you say?
I say that I'm available at your convenience, not my own.
I love
There's
that.
a lot of agents who only work a certain time frame. I'm available from morning to night, within reason, obviously.
I love that, and I do feel like a lot of agents say, I answer my phone, okay? So when you have something like that, you wanna back it up with a story. For instance, my client called me the other day at 10 p.m. and I don't usually answer my phone at 10, but I knew we were going through a really tough negotiating period, so I answered my phone and we got through it that night. So do you see how that will stick in their brain more than I'm available to you? Because when you leave that listing appointment, they're gonna go, oh, is it again, is that Tower Park? So having something that really sticks in their mind and sticking a story with it. Okay, you can go to the next slide. So everyone's kind of seen this, like you can buy a bottle of water at the store for 50 cents, at the gym for $2, $3 at the movies, and on an airplane, $6. They're all the exact same bottles of water. So if you look at realtors, we all have the exact same education, the same amount of hours, the same amount of required renewal hours, CE, all of that, but what genuinely makes us more valuable? Now, they say when it talks about water bottles, you're just in a different place. You're on an airplane, so you'll pay for a bottle of water, right? But place meaning people. Who are your clients and why are they paying more for you? We have to understand why, okay? Because we want 3%. We don't want 2%. We don't want 1.5%. We don't want to be compared to Homey, that only Homey's gone now, I can say that, right?
Well, you can say within our own branch.
With our own branch, that they only charge a flat fee. We don't want to be like compared to that. Well, if I go with you instead of this flat fee brokerage, what do I get differently? And so I want to make sure all of us are prepared to have that conversation. You guys, this is so crucial to your success as a realtor, making sure that you can sell your proposition so that people understand who you are, what sets you apart, okay? Anybody have anything that they use that sets you apart? Like any tactics, or I'll tell you a couple of mine if anyone wants to share anything that they do. Yeah.
Donating to my community.
I love it. Okay, so she tells her clients, any commission I make, I donate a certain portion to charity. And she has certain charities that she donates to. And that makes people feel very like, oh, I love that you do that. It's not just about you and your commission, you're actually helping other people too. So I feel like I get to help other people because I'm paying you, right? Anything else? Steve?
So one of the best things you can get is your broker's license to become an associate broker. You don't have to run a branch or you don't have to do any of that, but it's all about the education and that title. So I've been doing this for 24, almost 25 years, and in 3 years I got my broker's license because that's your minimum. And then I could tell people, look, I'm a broker. And that actually carries weight in their mind. They don't care about ABR, CRS, or any of those other designations. But they feel that if you can say, I'm a broker, then you have more responsibility, you carry more weight, and all this other, more education, stuff like that. So I would encourage everybody when they can to get their associate broker's license, because that actually means something to the public. And so I would start off with that. And of course, then I would go into more of my experience and things like that. But I don't compete against you guys now, so you're lucky.
Because he turns anything from sell to sold, right?
That's right.
I've said like I've never lost earnest money,
Oh, I
or I'm
love
like
that.
a therapist during it, because I feel like selling and buying is so stressful and it's emotional, and it's like you need somebody to listen and like kind of walk you through it and make you like feel better.
Well, that's really a great thing to tell them. A lot of times people don't really understand earnest money anyway, so
That's
again,
true.
take that and follow it up with, now earnest money is your big risk when you fill out a contract. And so there's chances that you could lose it, but I'm so good on the deadlines and watching our time that I get back to you and tell you, by the way, today at 5, you need to make a decision. And so follow it up with a story so they understand it a little more, right? But that's a great one. I don't even know what's earnest money. Anybody else got anything else? Okay, I have a list of emails for me that I keep, and I've shared it with the brokerages in our Google Drive if you ever want to use that, but for every single scenario, and it is so detailed. That like, okay, you're under contract now, here's the next steps. And the reason why I do that is because obviously I sit down with my clients and go through the next steps, but you know, they say people only hear 10% of what you say. So you want to make sure you have an email that I write in the subject line. Congratulations, you're under contract, keep this email. And then I write in the body, you can refer back to this throughout the whole process. Here's your deadline, here's what it means, here's this deadline, here's what that means, here's what happens after this. And then once we get to the final settlement, I'm gonna talk to you about what stays with the home and what doesn't stay with the home. So that you know as you're moving out, don't take the drapes, don't take the TV stands, the TV mounts, don't take, certain things. Because how many times have you guys got to a closing and all of a sudden the fridge is gone and it was included? And you're like, get that fridge back over there, right?
Yeah.
So I make sure, and I tell people this up front, you will have step-by-step instructions in your email for every scenario that we're in, on the market, under contract, and getting ready to close. And then I also do weekly emails. So there's certain things that I do to make sure my clients feel very in the know all the time. I just feel like there's never too much communication. Even if they, like we all know this, there's people that love lots of communication, and there's people that don't. So even if they don't want to read it, it's an email, they don't have to read it, but it's there. And you know my favorite thing to do is when they go, hey, when's our deadline, what's gonna happen? And I say, oh, it's on, let me look up the email I sent you, it's in that email, it's October 5th at 5 p.m. And so I refer back to, I sent you this email, don't forget, it's in there. Because I wanna make sure they don't ever blame me. Who's the first person to be blamed when things go bad? Realtor, right? It's like, oh, if this doesn't, you're not communicating. Oh, yes I am. And I say it in the most kind way. I'm not like, yes I am, I told you so. It's like, don't forget I sent you that email, it's super detailed, so make sure to go through it again. Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, no big deal. At least they're not mad at me, right? So these are some of the things that I do differently, and I wanna make sure we all have something that sets us apart. And again, you guys, it doesn't have to be some massive glorified thing. It's so cool that you donate to charity. That's a great, great selling proposition. But it doesn't have to be anything that big. It can be, I've never lost anyone's earned money. And that's actually really big. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be this like glorious, I saved the world mentality. It's just, you know, I'm really good at this and here's why I'm good at it, okay? So sellers and buyers have lots of options right now. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say too, with her, I do the exact same thing as you, like with my email,
Awesome.
and then, but with the dates, like, and the earnest money, like, I stress like how important your earnest money is, and they're a reflection of these dates, and I highlight them in big, red, bold letters,
Love it.
and like the dates, just so they like know, you know, that
Stick in their
they're the ones that they have to have these dates and what each one means, and
Yeah.
kind of like that, just, yeah, cause they really, I think a lot of them people just sign, they don't they're
Well,
just
it's
like,
overwhelming.
and they just like, they're leaning on you to be the one that like is in control, but they also need to be the one that, you know, is still aware,
Yeah.
so.
Well, and you know, it's really hard to explain to a seller that the earnest money goes hard on this date based on that, not based on something else, based on just that. So in my email it says, due diligence, the earnest money goes hard based on the due diligence. And then appraisal. The earnest money goes hard based on their loan and appraisal. So that it separates in their mind when they go, well, I thought they passed their deadline and I'm supposed to get the earnest money. No. Remember in the email I stated that just based on due diligence, it goes hard. Now they have another deadline based on financing and appraisal. So really taking the time to educate and teach people, and I think that is where, number one, being a broker is a huge leg up, but also, if you have any other designations, I also think that you should focus on those. It's extra education, it's something that you can say, like for instance, I took the new construction designation and I've worked with builders for my entire career. And so I feel very confident around new construction. And so I can sit down and let people know, you know, I have my new construction designation. That means I understand a lot of things having to do with new construction. So if you get this extra, what are they called? Designations, that is, focus on those. That's just something you can do to make yourself more educated and knowledgeable about the market, right? Okay, any questions or thoughts, anyone? Very easy peasy. Thanks for, all right, next slide. Okay, so value key points. Real estate agents, we work to articulate a clear and persuasive value proposition. So today, we're going to have a clear and persuasive, even if it's 2 sentences, because we want to make sure that on our social, when we sit down in a listing presentation, when we sit down with a buyer, which now we have to do a lot more than we used to, that we can convey why you want to work with me, especially buyers right now. So go to the next screen, I think it's the buyer one. Yeah, buyer agent value proposition. So obviously there's things like this that buyers really want. They want our trust, right? They want market insight and they want personalization. So these are things that you could, I'm giving you ideas of how to tailor your proposition for a buyer. So by the way, we foster transparency in all transactions. It's very important to me that you and I communicate really well. Just saying that, does that make you feel a little bit more like, oh, good, okay, so you're not hiding anything from me and I won't hide anything from you, we'll be good, right? There's people that really want to feel that trust, so it's important to talk about that. The next thing, market insight. Now, how many of you log on to MLS and see what the market's doing at least weekly or monthly? Steve, you did great, okay, good. So it makes you look like the specialist in our industry when you're like, by the way, there's 11,000 homes on the market right now, or whatever it is. Steve, what is it? Do you know?
Right now, that's
Go ahead.
about right.
Do you know?
Do you know?
I thought it was a lot, 9, but I don't know.
But I
haven't.
9,000 new homes on the market, it tells you
Like
daily,
total.
yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw the other day, this has been a while, so it's not accurate, but, 300 homes lowered their prices, but 27 of them raised. How strange is that, right? Now, could it be new construction that's raising prices? Absolutely, they're putting in new, upgrades and things like that, and they're going, hey, that doesn't make any sense, and we're gonna raise the price. Or it could be just a normal seller that's going, you know what, I don't think we priced this right, I'm raising the price. So having that conversation with your clients will make them go, oh, she really knows what she's doing, like she understands the market. Don't you think that alone is something that, if you do nothing else, you have nothing else, but just all you do is log onto the MLS every day and understand the stats, will give you credibility? For sure. So you can say that. I'm a market specialist. I understand the market, I know what's happening, I'm on the front lines selling homes. So I get to see what happens and I can help my clients make better decisions because of that, right? Personalization, so when you're helping a buyer, obviously I make it personalized to you. I tailor what your needs are. And that's why we're gonna have this buyer consultation where I can go through and ask you, what specifically are you looking for? I have my own intake form for a buyer. Does anyone have one of those? Okay, so essentially it's things that people forget to ask. It's like, okay, do you have any pets? Oh, yeah, we have a dog. So does that mean you need a fence? Oh yeah, we absolutely need a fence. And then I say, is it a non-negotiable or is it something you can put in later? Well, I guess if we find a really cool house that doesn't have a fence, we're okay, we can put a fence in later. So I go through that, and that's this personalization thing. That's me fully understanding their needs, understanding what it is that they're looking for. Because you know what's the worst is you wasting your time showing them houses that they don't even know. They're going, I don't know, this isn't working. They haven't told you. I have a dog, or I hate neighbors, so I need more land, or you know what I mean? And so sitting down and asking them key questions. How important is it that you have 5 bedrooms? Well, we have 4 kids. Okay, so tell me what those bedrooms will be used for. Well, one of them I need is an office space. Ah, got it. What happens if it's actually an office? Are you okay with that even if it's a 4-bedroom home? Oh yeah, do you see how that's totally personalized? It's no longer a guess you game of, oh, you like that house in Spanish Fork? Let's go see it. And then you have no clue why. This way you can eliminate homes. Hey, listen, now are you sure you want to see this one? This one only has 2 bedrooms and yet you were saying you needed 4. So what was your reasoning around that? I want to understand it. It saves me a ton of time. I don't have to go show a house that they're like, yeah, we knew it only had 2, we just want to see it because it was so cute, right? Oh, I don't have time for cute. I don't. I have time for what you need to buy, right? So I would say that, but that's my mentality. I don't have time for what you think is cute. We're not on some tour. We're literally trying to find you a home. So personalization is huge. So we have to understand our client's need. Market knowledge is huge. Networking and leverage. Now that's one of the things that realtors forget to talk about. I'm not a brokerage with 600 agents. They sell across the state. So there's people moving from Logan to Salt Lake, and I have a Logan office. So I will be networking with my office inner agents so that they know about this new listing, okay? So that's a huge plus. There are brokerages that only have 10 to 20 agents. How big is their reach? Now granted, if they put it on the MLS, they have a huge reach. But because I'm the agent that actually works for you, I put it in front of people. I call them, I talk to them. Hey, I'm listing a home in your market, I don't really know that market, I need to know who you know that could buy this home. So like Tyler Shea came to me the other day and he was like, what do I do to get my listing sold? What else could I do? And I was like, well, have you gone through it was a luxury listing. Have you gone through the MLS to see what agents have actually sold luxury in that community? No? Okay, well, go through, pick up the phone and call them. Hey Susie, I noticed that you sold a house on 123 Main Street. I actually have a listing in there. Who do you know that could like this home? He's like, oh, that's a good idea. Now, do you think 100% you're gonna get a buyer and an agent? No, but does your seller know that you're working extremely hard for them to help them find the person? So that is our network and leverage. That's us saying, we're not just agents that put it on the MLS, we won't rest on that laurel. We're not just agents that put signs in the yard, we won't rest on that laurel. We go to work for you. Okay, so I'm giving you ideas for your value proposition. Like I literally work for you. There's a lot of agents that don't do this, and don't be afraid to say that. There's a lot of agents that just put a sign in the yard and hope that a buyer's agent will find it on the listing. But I'm gonna do the extra work to find somebody for you, okay? Guidance and support, obviously, same exact thing. You're just kind of saying, this is how I'm gonna guide you through the whole process. I send emails, step-by-step instructions, so that you have something. If you're up at night at midnight because you are stressed out about your purchase, you have something to read to make you understand what the process is. Okay, all right, next slide. Any thoughts or questions so far? Okay, I hate lecturing, so. All right, so seller agent propositions, mastering the market, seller expertise. So for me, I don't do a ton of buyers, so I just say, I'm heavy on the listing side. And so I understand listings, I know how to sell them, I know, how to market properties, that type of thing. So I talk about my expertise as a listing agent. We can talk about speed. Now, don't forget to track your stats. Go back, all the homes you've ever sold, even if it's only 2, and if you have sold, figure out how many days you were under contract. That's even if you're a buyer's agent. Listen, I had a buyer, I showed them a property, got them under contract, and within 15 days we closed, because I have a great lender that can get it done. So these are talking points that make you set you apart from other agents, right? So track your stats. Now, I took, let's just say 35 listings this year. Out of all 35, average days on market for me, not the market, was 22. Why? Because I do my comps so aggressively that I understand what your home's gonna sell for. I won't come in, and this is one of the things you wanna say in a listing appointment. I won't come in and tell you a price that you wanna hear, and then have it sit on the market and make you look bad by lowering the price. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I bring the proof. Here's the proof. Here's the listings that have sold, and your home is very comparable. Let me pull up, I bring my laptop, let me pull up the pictures of that house. Do you see any differences in the pictures of this house compared to your house? Oh yeah, they have white cabinets and oak. Oh, okay, maybe that's why it sold quicker, we don't know. But let them come to the conclusion of why. But I'm just bringing you data, okay? So having those talking points with people, knowing your stats. I've sold 15 homes in the last, 6 months, and I sold them on an average of 30 days. The average market right now is 45 days. So I am ahead of it. Why? Because I work extremely hard to make sure that I'm not just coming up, I don't just run a CMA that takes me 10 minutes. I actually spend hours making sure that I'm pricing your home right. And everyone's heard of the pricing conversation where it's like, if we overprice, you're on the market longer, it looks like there's something wrong with the house, blah, 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 right? Are we having those conversations? Are we saying those things? If we're underpriced, we're gonna get multiple offers, that could be bad for us as well. That's why it's so important for me to spend so much time valuing your property right, okay? Now, Mr. Seller, another agent's gonna come in here and you're gonna go, but I want 775, and they're gonna go, okay, let's do 775. Now, that could be great, and we can do that. No, so don't take away that you could do it. We could do it. But I want you to sign right here on my CMA saying what I told you this home will sell for. And I'll put it at that price, but I also want you to sign a price reduction for 21 days from now. If we don't have an offer, in 21 days you'll lower it, okay? Do you see how that helps someone go, you won't lose the listing, but you also will not let him blame you. Because who do they blame when it's not selling? Us! What's happening? My house is not moving, nobody's showing it, what's going on? Remember when I made you sign on that CMA? That's where I think it'll sell for.
And it's good for you to keep your stats good, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll start there, but you already know in a day, because some of us are like, okay, stressing out, like we're listing at this, but we know deep down, and it's like you have that date, like, okay, 21 days though, we're lowering it to my price, because then your stats can stay good for your
Totally, great point. Well, and also, we wanna make sure that we explain one thing, because what is their first thought when we come in and we say, you say 775, I say 750, what's their first thought? Oh, you just wanna sell it fast and make a commission, right? So we have to overcome that objection without them bringing that question to us. And how do we overcome that? By the way, I need you to know, when I tell you to price it here, it is in my best interest to get you top dollar. Think about it. Percentage goes up. If I charge you 3%, I get more. So it's in my best interest to get you top dollar. So we're right on that verge of not overpriced, but priced aggressively to get it sold for you. Now granted, you wanna also have a conversation of, what's your timeline, what's your expectation? I went to a listing presentation the other day, and the guy's like, I don't really wanna sell. It's kinda like, okay, then yeah, let's put it, 2.7, let's put it at 2.7. If that's where you wanna be, that's fine. Because, you know, we could see if somebody would be willing to pay that, for sure. But understand their timeline. If they don't know their timeline, start asking more questions. Well, why are you thinking about moving? Help me understand this. Well, our daughter goes to a different school. Oh, okay, so when does school start? You know, start asking lots of questions. So really, you're not telling me that you need to move within 30 days. But now it sounds like you probably wanna get it under contract within 30 days, right? And start to put that in front of them to help them understand that you're understanding them and their needs. It has nothing to do with me and my commission. It's the cherry on top if I do a good job, okay? All right, dedicated service, negotiation, transactional fluency. So obviously we know the contracts, we know, you know, how to run a transaction. We send emails, detailed reports of how this is going. I send weekly reports of what I'm doing. So every Friday I sit down and send my sellers an update. I add in there the Zillow numbers, because I hate Zillow, but they don't, okay? So they go, how many people are looking at my listing on Zillow? I don't care, but here you go, here's the number, right? Because it means something to them. I add in the numbers of views on the MLS, and I just screenshot it. Okay, this week we had 13,000 views on the MLS, but we didn't get any showings, Mr. Seller. What do you think is happening? And all it is, I don't say those words, but all it is information that makes them go, oh, I should probably lower my price. I should probably do something different. What's that?
I should listen to my agent.
Right? But half the time they won't listen to us.
Yeah.
So we have to teach them in other ways. So my weekly report, yeah.
And it's always good to, if you have the opportunity to put it on an office tour. So I did a listing for one of my friends a few months ago, and I couldn't get him to lower the price. I told him it was gonna be here at 460 is where it's gonna sell, and of course he wanted 480 to start with. And he was pretty stubborn, and he slowly notched it down like Jen's saying. And so I finally got it on an office tour that we did out of the Draper office, out of Mike's office, and all these agents in their comments were saying how it's overpriced, and then they also started saying how the neighbor's yard looks like crap and stuff like this. And so they had all these comments, and then finally when they did bring it down to 460, we sold it like in a day or two.
Isn't that funny?
So,
That's why I make them sign the CMA.
yeah, but it took that other agent's opinions in an office tour type thing to make them come down to where I also said it.
That's such a great point. Putting your home on tour again is another value add that you're giving to the sellers. And you can say this, a lot of agents don't go to take the time to do these things, but I do. I love that. I love that you did that, and I love that they finally, you were right, because don't you love, this is my secret favorite thing in real estate, is to say in my mind.
So like,
Never in
oh my
person,
God.
but like,
Yes.
I was right, because you know what it does? It builds confidence in me.
Yeah.
So I can go to the next seller and go, I know what I'm doing. I promise you. But I don't say it that way either. So anyway, I love that. Thank you for that example. And that's so true. Like our buyers and sellers don't really trust us. Why?
Because we're not getting the job done at what they want at that high price.
Well, that, and there's
Traffic,
20,000
past
realtors in
experience.
the
Realtors
city.
have
A lot
bad
of
names,
realtors,
yeah.
A lot of
The
misconception.
tons of them don't, yeah, a lot of misconceptions of who we are, what we do. But we have the opportunity to show them we are different. That's why I have a selling proposition. That's why I have a buying proposition. That's why I have an elevator pitch of who I am and how I get things from set for sale to sold. Okay, just a quick, oh, that feels good. It sounds like you at least know what you're doing. If anything, you have a good sales pitch, right? Okay, oh yeah, so back to my weekly email. I just get them all sorts of information. Here's the newest homes that came on the market in your neighborhood. Here's the ones that went under contract. Here's the ones that sold, and they sold at this price, because we didn't know they were under contract last time I updated you. And it's information overload, so that they come to the decision of, you know what we were talking about last night, and we really think we should lower the price. Oh, really? That's great. Okay, good. Because secretly I've been telling you that the whole time, but I didn't say it out loud, right? Because I'm gonna sell it at what you wanna sell it at. Okay, so keeping that communication, transactional fluency is the heart of everything we do. So be committed. Next slide, please. All right, example of real estate proposition. So I like words like this rather than I pick up my phone, or I, things like that. I'm very client-centric. I have a client-centric commitment. What does that mean? Well, it means it's all about you. And I think one of you said that. I make it about you, not about me, about you. So this is a really good way to say that, right? Cost-effective solutions. This is one of the things I love about Amanda. So she also is very intelligent about taxes. And is that right? Taxes? And so she goes into every transaction and explains to them certain aspects of you can save money here. And she had a client that actually asked them to sell her house, and she convinced them not to sell the house, to turn it into a rental because they could afford to buy this, and that would be income in their life, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a great way to explain cost-effective solutions that are going to give you a portfolio for your future. How do you say that, Amanda? Tell everyone how you say that.
Which part?
I'm setting you up for long-term success financially.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I know, I'm so sorry to keep hitting on you. Just because we just had this conversation, so it's fresh in
No,
my
we
mind.
did, and so the plan was to sell the home they were in and then buy a new, primary. They wanted their forever home. And I was like, well, tell me about the house. And as we kind of started going through and I was thinking about this, he said, well, your rate is 2%. Like your mortgage is super low. You're in a great area with great schools. Like this would make you use a rental. And then you could use, I think their mortgage was like less than $2,000, crazy, a month. And I was like, so I did research, like you could rent this for $4,000 a month easily.
Easy.
Have someone else pay off this mortgage, then you have $2,000 a month going towards your new mortgage on your new home. Plus you'll get some tax breaks because now you're a landowner, or landlord, and you can write off this. So it was like, you're like, oh, I never thought of doing that. I just assumed, sell this, buy a new one. I was like, no, it's pretty easy. And if you don't want to do it yourself, you can hire a property manager. They take about 20% of your, but you're still well in the black. You get a property manager and just setting them up for, they have 2 small kids, so setting them up for more like generational financials.
And see how that can be part of your selling proposition? So I help people turn their real estate investments into generational wealth. How? Sit down with me in an appointment and I'll show you that. Okay? It's easy, right? Doesn't that pique your interest? Like, oh wait, tell me more about that. Because I'd love to be an investor, but I don't know how. And she's understood taxes and how that helps people make money off it. Market expertise, again, I'm a market expert. That's a simple phrase that you can then go into detail later, okay? Any questions or thoughts so far? Awesome, you guys are amazing. Next slide, please. Okay, more examples. So, value propositions. Your personalized real estate goals, a lot like what Amanda was talking about. Our focus is to tailor our efforts to suit your aspirations. Transparent pricing. We believe in clear and fair pricing, no hidden fees. So let's discuss the commission. Is that the perfect way to set that up? Yeah. The commission is the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
So thank goodness to Edge for always saying, we offer 3%. It's how many builders don't tell you, hey, we got this new listing, we've got this new neighborhood, come bring in your buyers. We love realtors, but they don't tell you. These guys are extremely transparent on their commissions, okay? That's a huge selling proposition. Exceptional service, how do you back that up? We go the extra mile and sure this is seamless. So other examples of how to explain your value proposition to your your clientele. Okay, next slide. All right, implementing your value propositions into your marketing. So tailoring your message for your target audience. So if you were to build an avatar of your preferred client, what would it look like? And if you don't know, you cannot be everybody. You can't be everything to everyone. And I think there's too many realtors that are like, I'll do everything. Yeah, if someone picks up the phone and wants me to sell a mobile home, I'm gonna do it. But if someone picks up the phone and wants me to sell a $7.5 million listing, of course, right? But we need to know who our avatar is, who our clientele is, what we're trying to, who our target is, so that when we're talking about ourselves, we're attracting those people. I had somebody the other day in a class that said something like, I just want no assholes. And I was like, that's a great avatar, because nobody wants to work with an asshole. I'm sorry for the language, but that's what he said. Nobody wants to work with that. So how do you attract people that are not jerks?
Yeah, how?
Well, you have a very
Move out of
good
Utah. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
detailed conversation. You guys
Oh,
go
yeah,
into
yeah.
listing presentations like
Figure
this.
out.
Listen, we're both gonna decide at the end of this if this is something we want to work on. Not, you get to decide, Mr. Seller. If I wanna work with you, and if you wanna work with me. And what does that do? It puts me in a power position of letting them know, it's not just you. If by the end of this, you've treated me bad through the seller listing presentation, I might walk away from this. I'm not gonna say that, but I'm just gonna go, you know, it doesn't seem like you and I are a right fit, so I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna walk after it. So knowing that you don't wanna work with a-holes, even if it is a big commission, will hone you in on your clientele and what you're looking for, I promise you. I believe in the power of manifestation, and if you're like, I don't, and I told this guy this too, if you're constantly going, I don't want assholes, you're gonna attract
All
assholes. But so who is it you're really trying to get? It's the ones that are fair with you and communicate with you and respect you and are grateful for your services. That's who I wanna work with, whether it's a mobile home or a $7 million property. It's people that respect me and appreciate what I'm doing. Okay, so can you see, if you start to put together an avatar, how that gears your value proposition to what you're looking for? Okay, now again, we can't be everything to everyone, and so it would be great if you really want to focus on luxury and figure out how you're going to focus on luxury. Figure out who you're going to tailor yourself to, your value proposition to make sure luxury clients are finding you. Because if you're everything to everyone, they probably won't find you, right? Okay. All right, so refining your online presence. So again, go to your Instagram handle, not handle, your description, your bio, whatever, and put it in there. I'm the White Coat Realtor. What that means to you is I have great bedside service, meaning I take good care of you, okay? Engaging with the community and networking. This is something that Amanda's really big on. She's very community-centric. She helps people, she has charities, she does those types of things, and that is so important to somebody. So that's a value proposition that you can put in your marketing. I engage with the community. It's important to me. What does that mean to you, Mr. Seller? Well, real estate is all about community. And if I don't give a crap about community, guess what I only care about? My commission. And guess how many out of the 27,000 realtors in the state of Utah care about commission? Probably 26,000, right? Okay, all right, so maximizing advertising impact. So again, when you're putting out there who you are and what you represent, you're maximizing who you are and you're attracting the right people into your business. Any questions or thoughts? Okay, next. All right, guys, now you get to create it, and I want you to, has everyone used ChatGPT so far already?
I finally downloaded
You
it.
did, good job.
Yes.
No, I
This is amazing.
Because you could legitimately, right, give me an elevator pitch for a realtor that is,
You do that.
see the words I said, I put this in here today. Give me an elevator pitch for a realtor that is customer-centered, knowledgeable about the market, and has cost-effective solutions. And this is what it popped up. I don't like this first part, I would have taken that out. As a dedicated realtor with deep understanding of the local market, I prioritize your needs above all else. I take time to listen to your goals and provide tailored, cost-effective solutions that make the process seamless and enjoyable. With my expertise and commitment and exceptional service, I ensure you feel confident every step of the way. Let's turn your real estate dreams into reality together. It's a little sales pitchy cheesy, but I would take what ChatGPT says and make it me. I would take out this line, I'd take out that line, I'd switch a few things up, but it gave me some great flow. It gave me a good explanation. And so on your papers today, we're gonna take the time to put together, there's questions that'll prompt you. What sets you apart? Who are you? What makes you different? And if you I love that nobody in here has it, because now today we're gonna come up with it. We're gonna really hone in on who we are, what we do, what value we bring to our clients, okay? And you're welcome to use ChatGPT to do it. Is there another slide? Great job.
Great job.
Okay, good. Okay, so everyone work on that. We got 8 minutes left, so yay, work on that. And if anyone wants to share at the end of it, that would be fantastic. If you don't worry. Because this is all trial, we're all just trying to figure it out.
Hey Jen, I have a comment.
Yeah, what's it? Go for it.
You had just mentioned the elevator pitch thing, and sorry I couldn't be there today. But one thing that has really worked for me is when you asked us to get this together years ago, And that's when I came up with my expect the impossible line. And I addressed the things that people are afraid of. Like, oh my gosh, I can't pack this whole house, or no one's going to want to buy this house. It's on a busy street, or it's by a railroad track. I find out what their fears are and the stressors, and then try and focus on diminishing that and helping them work through it. And at the end, they're always like, oh my gosh, you sold this so much faster than we thought. Somebody did want our house, or you took the impossible and made it the possible. So I just wanted to share that really quick.
Kimberly, thank you so much. Oh my gosh.
Hit the X, the speed with
There we go. Okay. You are amazing. I love that you shared that with me, and I'm so grateful that you remembered and you have implemented this into your business from the last time we taught this, which could have been 2 years ago. But also, it is so true about you, and I love that you're addressing the unknowns and the fears right up front. She goes in and she helps people organize, stage, make it look really good, and so there's some people that have zero clue on how to prep a house for sale. That's something Kimberly is extremely good at. And so that's a huge value proposition. By the way, I come in, I get your house looking the best it's going to look before we put it on the market. That's a huge value, right? So thank you, Kimberly, for sharing that. Anybody else online have anything to share? All right, work. You have 6 more minutes and then we're gonna let everyone go. Thank you to our affiliates that stayed the whole time. It was really good. I learned a lot.
Yeah, it is awesome.
I'm so glad you thought it was good. I should woke up this morning like I have a speech tomorrow. This day, I'm just not very great. Okay, does anybody have an answer to the top question that they want to share with us? For the ones that are online, I don't think I got a copy of this, right, Katie?
No.
What unique products and services do I or my team offer? Who is the target client of my value propositions for? What problem do I or my team solve for clients? How do my products and services benefit others? Thinking attracting referrals. So when we say, hey, by the way, I do this for all my clients, then they tell their friends. Oh, she stages houses. He does this, or what, gives back to a charity. Really cool, right? If it means something to them, they're gonna share. What differentiates me from other agents in the real estate industry, and what is my elevator pitch? Now, these are kind of deep, so I'm proud of you. Look at Leanne, she's got a lot going already. Does anyone want to share something off of this list today to help inspire anyone else?
I think it won't inspire anyone, but maybe to like stay in the business a long time, but like something that's different also in real estate is that I've been an agent for so long, so like 18 years, so experience does matter.
Very
you
true.
know? Like I've been in I've just been in different situations with buyers from like, the mobile home to the 2 million, so it's just, that's like the range, and it's just buying, selling, land, all the different things, being an associate broker, before, so like those are the experience, I guess.
I love that. That's really good, and I love that you can convey to people that experience does matter and that I've gone, especially if you say, I've been a full-time realtor for how many years, right? Because there's a lot of people that have jobs too. And don't get me wrong, I know a couple of people that have full-time jobs that do incredible jobs as a realtor. Incredible, I don't know how they do it. But in the same sense, it's also a value to say, I'm here all day long, so if you wanna go see a house, I'll take you there, right? So I'm a full-time realtor for 18 years. Yeah, it's great, I love that, thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have anything else they wanna share?
Well, for like my, what's it called? People, target client, I was thinking like teachers and nurses, just because their jobs are secure, and they're like grateful, not assholes. Because their jobs are really hard. So that's I just barely started brainstorming this right now, but I was like, oh, that seems like a target market that I would want to like be in with.
I love that,
That's all
and
I got.
probably because you value them too, and that's so great, and there's actually good incentives for teachers and, what did you say the other
Nurses.
Nurses?
Yeah.
There's
I
like
mean,
grants and stuff for a lot
Yeah,
of them,
different loans and stuff.
so if you make yourself the specialist around that, that's great, right? Amanda, do you do nurses and doctors as well? Yeah,
More physicians, but
physicians, make that part of your,
yeah, and I have a couple lenders that specialize in physician loans.
Oh,
And so most physicians I found are very financially illiterate, so they don't really know how that works. And people on medical school, there's no time or brain space or anything else. Like, and I'm not saying that in a bad way, but it is so much information. They're like, I can't, I have so much going
I
on.
can only
in
be
my
the
career.
specialist.
Yeah, I can't be a specialist in
And a lot of doctors think that they can't get loans because they have like a $400,000 debt, school, and so like there's just ways around,
and actually,
loans around it, so.
because they're considered such like safe borrowers, a lot of times they can put down as little as 5% of the money.
See, I love that. And when you hone in on who it is you're helping, you become the specialist. Like the fact that you knew that too is great. So if you want to focus on teachers and doctors, go and talk to your lenders. Do you know of anybody that has loans? Tell me more about these loans. Become the specialist around it so that you really truly can attract those people. I love it. You guys you're really helping each other and you don't even realize it. I love it. Okay, anybody else want to share anything before I say class over?
Yes, it's something, I can't remember his name right now, I have to go back to my notes, but I don't have with me. But he taught the class on why wouldn't somebody want to use me? Or why would somebody want to use me as their agent? As compared to why wouldn't they want to use me? And he talked about the gift, having a personalized gift. And so like, before I met my clients, I found out what their favorite colors were, and I went and I got Yetis for them, and I put a pack of gum and my card.
I love that.
So that was, they didn't know I was bringing them in, so just when I showed up, I was like, here you go.
Oh,
this is
that's
for you
so
guys.
cute.
And
See, I love that.
who doesn't love gifts?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm a gifter too, so like for all my listings, everybody gets a gift. At the end of their closing, they get a gift, regardless if they're a buyer or seller,
I love that.
but people just love it, and I'm like a gift card, like my clients give gift cards throughout the year, even if it's like a $10 one, to Swig or.
Yeah.
And then just like getting to know them
Yeah.
the whole process, I already know what I'm gonna get them for their gift. And then one of those solo stoves.
Well, that's great. I love that. Even doing the customer appreciation events is a value add.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not one of those realtors that after 30 days you never hear from me again. You'll hear from me multiple times throughout the year because I will miss you.
Yeah.
Like we create this bond for 30 days or more. And then you're gone. So I'm gonna invite you to things. So watch for my emails and things. I want you to come, bring your family. That's a value add, right? Even if you're a brand new agent, saying those things.
Cause
Twice a year.
you're doing your book of business, like starting off, and it's just like being in contact with them, cause they'll be calling you, especially if you're always like staying in contact with them somehow.
Well, awesome. You guys have all inspired me today. Lots of great ideas. Thank you for being here and sharing, and thank you for everyone online. I didn't see your faces because we had this thing up, so I don't know how many were online, but thank you for being here. Have a great day. Know your value proposition. Change your social media to convey that to people so that they know why you're different from everyone else, okay? Okay, you guys, have a great day.